One of humanity's oldest questions is, who am I? I think we all wear masks, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. All of us wear them after all, but I think the more interesting question is, at what point does the mask stop being a mask? If you remember being a child, children don't really wear masks. They're almost pure instinct. They laugh loud, they cry openly. They're not afraid to ask stupid questions. They say exactly what they're thinking. And then life starts teaching us which parts of ourselves are acceptable. I've come to believe that masks aren't always lies. Sometimes they're survival tools. School rewards one version of you, work rewards another, dating, family, friends. Every environment is different. They reward different behaviors, different masks. And the mask I've been choosing for myself with more intention is calmness. I started intentionally slowing my movements. I started speaking slower. I tried to carry myself with like a certain level of professionalism. I started practicing staying composed even when I felt anxious on the inside. At first, it was very intentional. I was monitoring every step of it, and I didn't always feel authentic, but after doing it every day, something started to shift inside of me. Eventually, I had to start asking myself, am I still performing, or did I actually become this new person? And so I start to think that maybe identity isn't just something we're born with. Maybe it isn't something we discover either. Maybe it's something we build through repetition, or maybe it's both. I was at work one day and I found this big, goofy red flower, and without even really thinking much about it, I plucked it and I stuck it on the top of my hat before work, and I made sure the petals were bloomed out, so it was just this big red flower on the top of my head. And it sounds as ridiculous as it probably looked, but I wasn't doing it for attention. It was more so I wanted to test if my identity was strong enough to survive the opinions of other people. Could I still be myself if people looked at me differently, even if I did look a little bit ridiculous? And for me, the flower wasn't really a performance. It was a test for myself. Because one thing I've struggled with for a long time is anxiety. People tend to think confidence means not feeling any anxiousness. But I'm starting to think confidence is feeling anxious and still moving even within that anxiousness. And then just doing it over and over and over again until your nervous system slowly adapts and it starts to feel more natural. One of my favorite characters growing up was Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, goated anime if you've never seen it. And what always stood out to me, I always thought he was badass, he could fight and everything, but what really stuck out to me as a child and even as I grew up was how effortless he looked, how calm he portrayed himself. And whether that calmness came naturally or whether it was something he practiced over time, I don't know. We never learned anything about his backstory. But I realized I always wanted to practice becoming calmer myself, becoming more stoic even in the face of uncertainty or confrontation. And I think that's what I've been doing. Sometimes people fall in love with the mask you wear, and sometimes they fall in love with the person you became because you started wearing that mask. Those aren't necessarily the same thing, but they're both still you. So I don't think my goal anymore is to remove every mask I wear. I think my goal is to wear them with intention, to practice becoming the kind of person I actually want to be. Because we spend so much time asking ourselves, who am I? But I think a better question to start asking ourselves, at least what I ask myself now, is who am I becoming through repetition? And that's really all I have to say about that. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again.